guys, and welcome to my very first official YouTube video. Woo! First and foremost, I'd like to thank all of you guys on Instagram, all my friends, my family that actually went on to my bio and clicked the link and watched my intro video. I appreciate you guys so very much because I've never done anything like this before. This is all very new to me. It's kind of awkward just going in and turning on a camera, standing in front of it, talking to it in hopes of someone later on tuning onto your video and listening to what you have to say. So for all of you guys that took some time out of your day to watch my very first video, I thank you guys so very much for the support. And so because of that, I want to dedicate a part of this video to what I'm grateful for in life, and hopefully you guys think of a couple things that you guys are grateful for in your guys' life too. Second of all, I do want to continue from where I left off in my very first video about breakups and the grieving process, since I know that very first video kind of cut off a little bit. I don't have any editing tools with my videos or for my videos. I've never done this before, like I said, so it's gonna be a little bit raw, I guess you can say. There's gonna be no editing, it's gonna be no filter. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video as much, or I hope you enjoyed my very first video. So starting off where I left off, breakups. Like I said, I'm going through a breakup myself right now, and it has been a little bit hard to adjust to that fact, and also the fact that I'm living in a new city. It becomes a little bit stressful. So for that case, this is why I'm starting a blog, so I can find people that relate to my story, or get some feedback on the comment box or whatever, however this stuff works. So like I said, it's been very hard to adjust to it, but I'm keeping optimistic, like I mentioned in my very first video. I'm trying to motivate myself. I'm trying to kind of kick myself in the butt mentally and telling myself, you know what, pick yourself up. You need to go out there and you need to create something better than what you are now. I need to be better. And that brings me to my very first point. My very first point is, it is so hard for us as humans to sink in our own puddle of misery. And once you sink into your puddle of misery, it is so hard, so very hard to get out of it. Why? Because no one can just, stick out their hand and grab you out of it. You have to do it yourself, because it's your own puddle of misery. Nobody even knows it exists. So in that case, what I'd like to tell you guys, since I've been there, and I know that all of you guys have been there as well, letting your guys' self sink into your own puddle of deep misery and just drowning in it and just hoping that someone will get you out of it. But I know it's hard to even consider the fact that nobody can pull you out of it and only you can. But I'll tell you what, if you keep optimistic, it's really going to be helpful. Keeping optimistic, I know it's easier said than done, but keep your guys' self busy. Keep yourself busy. Find new hobbies, like I'm doing right now, trying to vlog, even though this is something completely out of my realm, but I'm doing it. So keep your guys' self busy. Keep yourself motivated. Pick up new hobbies. Find new hobbies. Find new talents. Find your hidden talent if you haven't already done so. But know yourself. Get to know yourself. I want to share a little story about yesterday at my bus stop. I always find the most unique people, I guess, or just people with the craziest stories on the bus. So I was waiting for the bus, and I sat down, and a lady was right there next to me, and I thought I should talk to her. I should get to know her, and I should get to know her story. Why is she riding the bus? So I told her a story about me in order for her to kind of open up about who she was. I told her, hey, you know what? Yesterday, Sunday, I missed the 7:03. I forgot that the Sunday routes end early, and so I had to take Uber twice, and that cost me $26 that I could have had in meals. And living on my own, it's just so very hard to find time to cook and to even go grocery shopping, and especially hard to balance your money when you're not making that much. Uh, when you take into consideration your rent and so on and so forth. And I told her, can you believe it? I forgot it was Sunday. I missed my bus. I had to take Uber twice to work and back home because it's not that I missed my bus. The very first time I actually took a bus that took me the complete opposite way, thinking it was the bus that normally ran, but it was a Sunday bus. And so I got off of it and took an Uber because there was no other bus and I was going to be late to work. And now, coming back out of work, back home, I was like, wow, I'm on time. This bus is going to get here in about 2 minutes. It's going to be good. I'll go home, I'll eat something, shower, go to sleep. Perfect, right? A couple minutes passed and I said, wait a minute, it's Sunday. So I was in the wrong spot and I booked it to what is called H Street, where I had to be to take my bus back home. And I missed it. I saw it leaving. I saw it leaving, guys. You know, the worst feeling is not missing your bus, but looking at your bus leave you. That is the very worst feeling ever. Because, you know, crap, that was the very last bus of the day because it's Sunday. And so I had to take an Uber for the second time that day. And I told her, can you believe that happened to me? Can you believe that I just forgot that it was Sunday? I mean, how irresponsible is that of me? And she said, no, don't worry. It happens to the very best of us. And she stayed quiet. So I thought, this one's going to be a little bit hard to open. Some people that I meet on the bus are like, oh yeah, chatterboxes like me. But this lady was a little bit quiet. And I told her, yeah, you know, when I moved to San Diego for the very first time, I had a car, and I named her Karma because she was very mean to me. Karma, I had a 93 Toyota Camry, and the engine was a complete mess. It had some sort of leakage. The transmission busted. I got it fixed. I got it back, and I was so happy. And then 2 days later, it broke down again. I ended up selling the car in PJ, and now I have to just ride the bus all the time. And she was like, wow, that's crazy. You know, I had a car once too, and one time I was driving, and you know, I heard a noise. She said, I heard a noise and I didn't know what it was, and it was a transmission. So I took it to a mechanic, and kind of told me the same thing that your mechanic told you, and they said, you know, I don't think this is savable. So later on, she said that she went, I'm trying to remember exactly her story. She went to go, oh yes, she went to her friend's house, or her coworker, she said, to pick him up. And this was where I was like, whoa, how does this even tie to your story? You guys are probably wondering that right now too, because I'm going on a rant, but I'm getting there. This is backstory. She goes and knocks into her coworkers slash friends, very good friends, she said, his house, and he wouldn't open, and she was like, oh, we're gonna run late, we had somewhere to be, we had somewhere to go. And she said, so I started panicking, and I opened his window. I broke into his window, into his room, and there I found him, a trail of blood, and him on the bed. He had died.